Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to This Week in Gaming, your weekly news update for everything going on in the world of video games. And this week, the hype train for Arc Raiders keeps on rolling with a new map and tons of new content. Valve is gunning for the home console market with a brand new product. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 released with some bizarre campaign issues and much more. Arc Raiders got its first post-launch map, a winter-themed scientific base called Stella Montis. It was released via a community event where players could donate resources to unlock the map faster. When the event first went live, players were so quick to donate that Embark had to raise the total donations required to ensure that everyone got a chance to experience the event. Though calling it an event is a little bit of a stretch, it was just basically players holding the E button to donate resources to a thing until it was completed. At any rate, the new map is a pretty big departure from the rest of the maps, which are generally more open spaces dotted with large buildings and occasionally having underground structures. Stella Montis being almost exclusively set indoors really does change the pacing and seem to cause a lot more intense PvP action. Huge surprise there. The update also introduced two new Arc enemies, the formidable Matriarch and the Shredder. The Matriarch is similar to the Queen in that it's a massive spider-like robot, but it has a very different complement of weapons and abilities. It can launch gas grenades, fire missiles, has a temporary shield that reduces incoming damage, and it also seems to be guarded by other Arc-like leapers. As for additional changes and fixes, the patch includes some notable improvements to desync issues, map exploits, and crafting balance. Overall, one of the crazier things about Arc Raiders is that its concurrent player count has been holding strong at over 300,000 concurrent players on Steam alone, eclipsing Battlefield 6, Call of Duty, Marvel Rivals, and many of the other mega hits. Also, if you're looking for a deep dive into all the tips and tricks you need to hit the ground running, or just an extensive review of Arc Raiders, stay tuned to the end of this video for some links. Valve is once again swinging for the console crown with 3 new hardware devices announced this week: a new Steam controller, a Steam Machine mini gaming PC, and Steam Frame, which is a new standalone VR headset. They're scheduled to launch early next year. Pricing has not been revealed, but Valve says that the Steam Machine is priced competitively with custom-built PCs of the same hardware class. The Steam controller builds upon the original Steam controller that Valve released several years back, but inherits the dual stick and trackpad design of the Steam Deck. And as for the Steam Frame, it looks like it'll be the next VR headset to beat and seems as capable, if not more so, than the Meta Quest 3. Now, considering just how successful the Steam Deck has proven to be with its aggressive pricing and highly optimized software, Valve might actually have a chance at seriously disrupting some of the console gaming market with a PC that is delivered with a console-like experience. The Steam Machine is essentially the most popular hardware in the Steam hardware survey, crammed together in a very small and attractive cube, but Valve have gone the extra mile to include things like an HDMI port with CEC control that lets it wake and sleep your TV automatically. It uses Steam OS, so it includes headline Steam Deck features like instant resume and standby game downloads. It also takes standard RAM modules and M.2 form factor SSDs, making future upgrades very straightforward. On top of all that, the case is also highly customizable with magnetic faceplates and a planned partnership with iFixit to offer replacement parts direct to users. And if these products are priced competitively, Valve could have a hard time keeping up with the orders. Basically, the only catch with the Steam Machine is that it runs on Steam OS, meaning major multiplayer games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and more won't run on it due to the anti-cheat requirements. That said, Valve says it'll support installing Windows, and if successful, it'll further pressure the major studios into supporting Linux with their anti-cheat software. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 just launched, and while the reviews of the game's multiplayer are still fermenting, the campaign is drawing some ire over its always online requirement. Plus, you can't pause it, and if you go AFK for too long, it'll kick you and wipe out all your progress for a level since it offers no checkpoints. There's also a major boss fight that has you fighting a gigantic character like some sort of Destiny raid boss. Personally, I'm a bit surprised that major studios are still pushing for an always online requirement for single player experiences. Hopefully, this will change at some point down the road. Battlefield 6 got an update this week that fixes some long-standing issues. The lock-guided missiles ignoring countermeasures has been resolved. This should prevent tanks from destroying anything and everything in the sky. The Sledgehammer recon drone exploit that let players go hundreds of feet in the air was fixed. Vehicles not spawning for certain teams on select maps was fixed. There were also several improvements made to weapon balance, specifically bugs with weapon bloom that made weapons unintentionally inaccurate after sprinting or while moving. Battlefield's latest community post makes it clear that the devs are considering map size for future updates. They say in the post that Battlefield is at its best when maps offer different ways to play and constant action around every corner. Striking that balance is always a priority, and we're committed to a variety of map types across future seasons. Since the game's beta, there's been a lot of complaints about its lack of large-scale maps. The future of Bungie, a truly legendary game studio, could be in a dire situation. Sony's latest financial report spells out more than $200 million lost since acquiring the studio behind Halo. Destiny 2 player counts have been at all-time lows for months now, and excitement around their upcoming extraction shooter Marathon is tepid. If Marathon doesn't pan out, whatever's left of Bungie may be absorbed or dissolved entirely under the PlayStation brand. They recently faced a large-scale restructuring that put them under PlayStation's direct leadership. Elden Ring Nightreign is getting its first DLC on December 4th. The Forsaken Hollows will include new bosses, new maps, and new playable characters. Hints in the trailer suggest it might be set after the events of Nightreign, essentially making it the new endgame experience for the 3-player co-op. That said, this is a $15 DLC and won't be a free add-on unless you own the Collector's or Deluxe Edition. Rockstar is facing scrutiny from over 200 employees and even UK's Parliament following the firing of over 30 workers in an apparent union-busting scheme. Last week, roughly 34 Rockstar employees across their UK and Canadian offices were fired. Rockstar alleges that they were sharing sensitive information via Discord. However, an anonymous employee released a statement saying the Discord was being used to organize a union at the company, and the only third party present in the server were official union representatives. This week, the matter reached the UK Parliament, with some people suggesting that the fired workers should be supported. Over 200 Rockstar employees have also signed a letter directed at the company demanding the fired workers be reinstated. In our final story this week, if you hate microtransactions, RuneScape might be the next game for you to check out. The venerable MMO is having its controversial treasure hunter monetization system removed as part of a broader improvement plan to fix issues raised by players. This system boiled down to basically a loot box gambling scheme that incentivized betting on your own items to improve the odds of a valuable drop, which had a certain real money cost per spin. The system is being discontinued following an official poll with over 100,000 votes by players in favor of shutting it down. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. If you want to check out an Arc Raiders complete guide that'll save you a lot of headache when you're getting into the game, or even teach some veteran players a few new things, check out this video here, and I also have a complete review up for the game as well. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.